Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Tina and today I'm sharing with you our pantry makeover. So me and Bobby teamed up and we redid our pantry, and if you want to see how we went from this pantry to this pantry, then make sure to stick around. This took place over the course of a couple weeks because we had to do it when James was asleep or over the weekends, and it just took a little bit, but I'm so glad that we did it and I wish we would have done it sooner. So to give you a little backstory, this pantry was like this when we moved into the house about 3 years ago, I guess. And it has just been so hard to keep organized. The shelves are really deep, which you would think would be a good thing because it does give you a lot of space. But for me, I just could not organize it. It was really hard to see in there. It's very dark, very dingy. And I never painted it or anything because I always knew since we moved in that I was gonna redo it. We were kind of just waiting for the right time and it finally came. So I'm just so glad that I have a nice, clean, organized pantry that you could see in. I was planning this pantry for so long that my plans changed a million different times. Even as far as when we got to Home Depot, the whole plan that I had changed. So originally, I was going to get some pieces of common pine board because it was very affordable, about $17 a board. These are them right there. And I was going to use that as the shelving with brackets. And then Bobby had the idea that we use some shelving that he found in the attic that we had. He said that he could refinish them and use those as the shelving since we already had that. We ended up buying that piece of plywood right there for $18, and they actually cut it for us at Home Depot. And we were going to use that on the bottom of the shelf so that we could hide the wood that was supporting it on the sides and on the back so that they kind of just looked like built-in floating shelves. And they do look like that now, but we actually didn't put the plywood on to close it off because in the future we're probably going to put some LED lights under each shelf. So for now we're just leaving it open until we decide what we do. This is the shelf from the attic, well, the shelves from the attic that Bobby's going to be working on. And the only thing that we got from Home Depot was the plywood, which we didn't end up using. We got one pine common board, and we're going to use that on top of the lower cabinets as kind of like a countertop. And then we also got a couple pieces of some select pine, and we're using those for the faces of the shelving. They obviously didn't match the shelving, but they blended together really well, and the select pine made it look really good. So I don't know if I mentioned, but I was trying to do this very affordable. So the cabinets are from Ikea. They seem great actually. I ended up getting two cabinets. One is a 12-inch cabinet, so it was 12 by 12 3/4 by 30 inches high. And then the other cabinet, and that one was $79. And then the other cabinet with the two doors was 24 by 12 3/4 and 30 inches high. And that was $112. So I spent $191 total for the bottom cabinet. I'll have the ones that I bought specifically linked down below, but they were the most affordable ones that I found, and I think they're really great. The only thing that I didn't like is that the doors, the hinges are not like soft closing, so I might just eventually switch those out.
miles away. I was speechless when we first met. Yeah, you took the pain away, didn't mind my scars, then my broken heart. Life was dull until you came. Now I see in color again. It could rain, I don't mind if it pours, 'cause I'm right next to you, to you. Come rain or come shine, I don't mind, 'cause I'm right next to you. It's you, right next to you, to you, next to you, next to you.
Bobby really put so much work into these shelves and the countertop. He did so much sanding, so much prepping, so much spraying, everything. So right now he's just spraying the shelves with a sealer. He said he used about 1 can for all of the shelves. And this is actually just a crystal clear one, and it's in the satin finish, but it does change the color of the boards a bit. It makes them a little darker, but I wanted it to be clear because I just liked the light color of the wood.
I'm yours, and you are mine. You took the pain away, didn't mind my scars, then my broken heart. Life was dull until you came. Now I see in color again. It could rain, I don't mind if it pours, 'cause I'm right next to you, to you. Come rain or come shine, I don't mind, 'cause I'm right next to you. It's you, right next to you, to you, next to you, next to you, next to you.
So I actually had leftover white paint in our basement, so I just used that to paint in here. And this wall I did last because I knew that this was the wall that I was doing wallpaper on. So luckily I did that because I ran out of paint. And this is the wallpaper that I picked. I found it on Amazon. I'll link it below. It was so affordable. It was like $9 a roll. I thought I was only gonna need 1 roll, but I actually needed 2. You'll see in a little bit. I'll show you there's a little gap. You see right on the right-hand side right here, just that little piece and a tiny bit at the bottom, like maybe 2 inches or so. It was actually really easy to put up and very forgiving. If you made a mistake, you can kind of just pull it off and put it back. But I'm sorry I didn't film it. It was just so hard to actually film inside the pantry because of where it is in the hallway. There's just really nowhere good to put the camera, especially doing something like the wallpaper. But maybe I'll wallpaper something else and show you guys, because now I have a ton of wallpaper left over.
Like you, I would watch the days go by, wasted in blue. I was out of use. Now every day, every night, every moment with you, I'm walking on air. And every day, every way, I feel I can't lose. I wanna shout it out, ain't no limit. I wanna shout it out to the world. You got me all worked up, got me spinning. I'm crazy for love, crazy for love, crazy for crazy for love. Crazy for love. Whenever lost, whenever down, you know what to do, to do. There's no mountain I won't climb to be right by your side, right by your side. Now every day, every night, every moment.
This piece right here that Bobby's working on is actually a platform for the Ikea cabinets to sit on top of. We were really debating back and forth whether we even needed to do this, because I looked at a lot of things on Pinterest, and some of the built-in cabinet type things, not in a pantry but like in a dining room or whatever, they had a toe kick. and I just wasn't sure if we really needed one or not. So I looked online and it says how really a toe kick is just for your feet, your toes, to go under the countertop so you're closer to the countertop when you're using it. But we're not going to be using this as a countertop, you know? So I felt like we didn't need one. But we decided that it just looked better with something under it. So we just took extra wood that we had, painted it white, and used that. And then on each side, on the left and right hand side, there was probably like a 1-inch gap, about that we needed to fill. And so we just used wood and painted that as well. And you cannot tell at all, it looks so seamless. I got the cabinet hardware from Amazon. They were so cheap. And then this motion sensor light is great. It's also from Amazon. It was like $17 or so. It's dimmable. It has 3 different color settings. It comes with a remote and it's rechargeable. So you just magnet it up and then you have to take it down. So far, I think I've gone like 3 weeks or 4 weeks and I just had to charge it for the first time. So it's pretty great. As soon as you open the door, it turns on. It's great. And right now we're just trying to decide on the height of the shelving, and that first shelf, I just wanted to make sure that my mixer would fit on top of the counter space and look good still with the height of the shelf. So we kind of based it off of that. So I did get this over the door hanger, which honestly, I'm not a huge fan of them and neither is Bobby, but I really wanted to be very organized and I didn't want things to just be shoved everywhere. I just want everything to have a nice home, and I just feel like having this will do that for those extra things. And the pantry is finally all done. So here is the before of the pantry, a crazy mess. And then we have the beautiful after. I truly am in love with this pantry. It's like the pantry of my dreams. It's exactly what I envisioned, but better. I love it so much. It's been so easy to keep it organized. I can see everything. I love it. I did want to show you some of the stuff that I got for the pantry. Some of this stuff I have had for so long, like these bins right here. I bought these like when we moved into this house, I think. That's how long I have been wanting to make over this pantry. And I'm just now cutting the tags off. But I could not film putting everything in, although I wanted to. It took me so long to decide on where everything was going to go. And it's just really hard to film where the pantry is. There's just not a good view in any way. So I'm just sharing a little bit here and then I'll show you how everything turned out at the end. Finally have a nice place to store my mixer, and I just love the way everything came out. Everything makes sense to me. It might not make sense to you, but everything is in a good place. It is very organized and I could not be happier. I love having the hidden storage as well, and it's just, it all makes sense. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you like my pantry makeover. I hope you do, and if you did, I hope you'll subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Thanks. Bye.